married, you can even lose interest in sex. You don't want to hear about it. You lose interest literally on life. You lose interest. You know that is a sign that actually you're struggling with mental health challenge.
It's something wrong.
Now, when you are in a place where you want to be alone, you withdraw from people, you isolate from your family, from friends, you avoid people, you avoid activities that can bring people together. For you, from work, you are in your house. From your house, you are back to work because you really want to work because you want to make ends meet. But you actually struggle. Even to get out of that bed, you struggle.
Isn't it that what we call depression?
Exactly. That is one of, because I will actually explain some different types of mental illness along the way as well.
Okay.
So you see that you want to be alone. You know there is a problem. Reckless behavior, where maybe you now go into reckless behavior. Some of the examples of the reckless behavior is actually right here.
Okay.
You go into this reckless behavior where you end up with the drug use and abuse. You end up with the humanizing. Even when you are very old, you become a serial humanizer. Or even if you're a woman, you become a serial. Do we have humanizers also? You know.
So now, does that mean that if someone is running from one relationship to the other, they're actually mentally ill?
Exactly. Something is triggering that. It is in the mind. You know, and then you end up with the drugs, opium, cocaine, whatever drug, alcohol, whatever. You end up, you are into crime, you are into so many, you become so violent and all that. So all these reckless behavior issues are as a result of mental illness, which is actually building. And then also you look at gambling. There are people who are, for them, from morning up to evening, they are in gambling. Sports betting has taken over their life.
Wow.
It is as a result of mental challenge.
That means we have a lot of people.
You know?
A lot of young people especially.
Yeah. Reckless driving. There are people who actually walk in the road so that they can be knocked. They just want to be knocked. Reckless behavior, they just do stuff. And then if you are here and you're like me, like I was sharing with you, where I struggled with the going to the bathroom. If you are there and you struggle with the bathroom, you know, taking basic personal hygiene becomes very hard for you. It becomes very hard for you to go to bathe. It becomes very hard for you to wash your clothes. It becomes very difficult. You just put on what is available. You don't care whether you have combed your hair. You don't care whether you have brushed. You don't care whether you have really showered. You don't care about anything. You just show up anyway. Then that is actually also a sign that actually this person is actually battling mental illness. There is a problem. Now, you fail to concentrate at work or at anything. Failure to concentrate. When you are struggling with concentration at work, decision making, remembering things, it becomes very difficult for you to know anything. You know, this is a challenge affecting your mind. Unexplained ache. Your body is paining, then you go to the hospital, they tell you you're fine. But you feel the pain everywhere. You go and they test this, there is no malaria. They test that, they test that, it is negative. They test this, but your body is aching. You know, that is as a result. You have these complaints over your headache. And sometimes this headache, one side is aching, one side is okay. You know, all those kind of headaches. You know. Unconnected speech. You speak one thing, you jump to another before you finish this one, you jump to the other one before you know it. So you have unconnected speech. And even sometimes speaking becomes very difficult. You have a lot of pauses. You have a lot of commas. You have a lot of full stops. You have a lot of startups. So that is also a sign that actually you are not mentally well.
So does it mean that these people that are so hyper, they could be also mentally disturbed?
It is. We'll look at all those types. And then you look at suicide risks. That's why we have a lot of cases of suicide of late. Sometimes then also there is where you hear voices that others don't hear. If you're in a place where you hear voices that others are not hearing, or you see things that others don't see, all those are signs and symptoms of a mental health problem. And then what needs to be done is you need to be screened. You need to be diagnosed to see what exactly is your condition, because not all of them are at the same level.
Now, before we go there, we want to understand what causes all this.
Now, causes of mental illness, there are so many. There are so many. One is, I'll look at it from family, because family is, actually right now, most of the mental breakdowns begin from, actually it is caused from family setting. That's why I've been doing more of family mental health, trying to create more awareness on family mental health, trying to explain to different people that, hey, you know what, things can actually happen. It is in the family where people are abused. It is in the family setting that you have this environment here. A place of pain is actually most now in families. It is in the family where people are abused. It is in the family people are very miserable. It is in the family that things are really falling apart. It is in the family where there is a fight. It is in the family where there is molesting. It is in the family where there is a rape. It is in the family where there is incest. It is in the family where there is abuse of all kinds. It is in the family that there is a rejection, where people are not wanted and you are not supposed to be there. People don't like you and all of that. It is in, so a lot is there, so that it explains why we're having actually increasing cases of mental health challenges. Now, there are so many other causes that are there. And you can look at, in terms of, let me just throw a few of them from here.
Okay.
Now, you have different issues triggering different conditions.
But most of them coming from family.
From family. That's why family plays a very big role. But I want to say that you're not alone. Whoever is in struggle right now, you are not alone. Yes. Even when things are like that, you're not alone, because we've been there. Number one, we have marital problems.
That is the biggest challenge we have.
Marital problems is one of the many triggers of mental illness. Where there is a marital challenge and then you are failing to agree on so many things, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety. Definitely, things are going to snap. That's why, if you go to men's centers, most of the ladies who are battling mental illness is because of relationship breakdowns and marital problems. The same with the men. Same with the men. So marital problem has is also a big trigger. Number two, you have anything to do with the loss.
Oh, yes.
Anything to do with the loss, whether you lose a job, whether you lose a family member, whether you lose a child, whether you lose a parent, anything to do with the loss is a negative connotation for the mind. So any loss you make affects your life. So that's where many people who are mentally disturbed, it is as a result of a loss in their lives.
Yeah.
Another cause is, you look at the worst of it of late for our generation now, is comparison.
What is that?
You compare yourself with your age mates.
Okay.
You compare yourself with your workmates. You compare yourself with your village mates. You compare yourself, and then you feel you're not worth. That's why right now there's a lot of unhealthy competition, where you find people who are here, and then somebody, maybe you have no car yet, and then you find your friend who used to help in school, maybe driving. You feel that you're not good enough. Even if you are driving, maybe you meet this OB or the OG who used to look like they're not good enough. But the guy parks a machine, and you look at your own and you're like, what do I have here? Maybe you're still very single, and then this person who was not very, very beautiful is married and they're having children, but you are very beautiful, but like the other movie that used to be watched, Beautiful but Unlucky. But you're still single, but this other person is very much, then you're like, but what is wrong with me? You know, you go to that place of worry. What's wrong with me? And before you know it, things begin to fall apart. In fact, chapter 2 of that book is about worry. And the worry is the vehicle that mental illness uses to amplify its work. Because we're in a worrisome period where you worry about everything. You worry about your life, you worry about career, you worry about your spouse, you worry about your children, you worry about your parents, you worry about what you will eat, you worry about your career, you worry about everything you can worry about. And before you know it, you begin to sink into depression, you begin to sink into different mental illnesses. Then there is, of course, abuse. I talked about the abuse already. Because some people have been abused before, so they have, and they have never been helped to deal with that traumatic experience that they were through. So that's why we have the post-traumatic stress disorder, where they have a flashback of what happened before, what happened in childhood. Maybe they were raped, maybe they were defiled, maybe they were molested, maybe they witnessed war, maybe their people were murdered, and all those traumatic experiences still haunt them. And before you know it, somebody actually snaps. So there are so many causes, and then of course there are also these other causes which are environmental, where you live, the circumstance where you are living can influence. You have of course now the other is the drug and the substance abuse, alcohol and substance abuse. Most of the mental illnesses cases, especially for us in West Nile, is actually attributed to drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
Because there are narcotics, people are taking these narcotics, people are taking all these kind of drugs, and as a result, mental health issues show up and all that. Okay. So all this, and then also there is even, there are those which also are genetical. If maybe your forefathers had some of these traces, it is likely that actually a member in the family can also develop the same. So there are so many of these causes under mental illnesses.
Okay. Allow me to take you for a short break. But when we return, we are going to be discussing more about this and effects. Effects. Because at the end of the day, after this all happening to us, we are affected.
True.
So we are going to be discussing the effects of mental illness. Mwebala okubanga muchekumide ku Bethany TV bannaffe abeeyo tubavuze nnyo abamu naye ngenda kuba nkuddiramu katono nga tetunagenda mu break. Tuli mu kwogera ku ndwadde etawaanya obwongo bwaffe. Omwami ono abadde atunnyonnyola okusingira ddala tubadde twogera nnyo ku kiki ekireeta omuntu okufuna endwadde y'omutwe, abamu ekibaviirako n'okugwa eddalu. Kaakati tusoose ne twogera ku bubonero. Ebiseera ebisinga bubonero tubunyooma. Abantu abamu otandika mpola mpola, oyinza okuba nga obeera n'obusungu, buli kintu kyonna ekitono kikuggyako waya. Abantu abamu atandika okuba nga ayogera nnyo. Abantu abamu yeekyawa n'abeera nga takyayagala kulya, abalala n'akyawa okunaaba, abalala n'ebyokukola omulimu ne gumutama, okeera ku makya owulira toyina maanyi, abalala obeera n'omubiri nga gukuluma kye tuyita fatigue, ozukka buli lunaku owulira nga omubiri gukuluma wenna teweewulira bulungi. Abalala beekyayira ddala n'akyawa n'abantu ng'ayagala kubeera yekka. Kati bwe bumu ku buntu ebingi byayogedde ebireetera oba ebikuyinza okuzuukusa ggwe omulabi waffe n'omanya nti nandiba nno nga ekirwadde ky'omutwe kigolokoka mu nze. Kati atubuliddeko ate ku biki ebireetera ebintu ebyo. Ekisinga obukulu atubulidde nti bw'obanga oyinako kye wafiirwa, oyinza okuba nga wafiirwa omwagalwa nga teyafa oba nga yafa. Waliwo okufa okw'okufiira ddala oba nga yagenda. Abalala ofiirwa omulimu, abalala ofiirwa mukwano gwo. Kwegamba abantu abamu batya ekintu ekimu okumuviirwako, bwe kikuvaako n'okyankalana. Abalala kwegeraageranya ne bannammwe n'ogamba nti nze kati kale teebereza nze mukulu, bato bange bonna baafumbirwa, ekyo ne kikulwaza n'obeera nga teweetegeera. Abalala obeera ku mulimu, abalala babakuza gwe tebakukuza, ekyo ne kikukyankalanya. Abalala wasoma n'omala tofuna mulimu, banno baafuna emirimu. Abalala emmotoka, mikwano gyange bonna bavuga, nze sivuga, ye bannange nze ani, nze sizimba, bannaye ye nabaaki. Abawala bonna ababi bafumbiddwa, nze omulungi nze atafumbirwa, nze atafuna. Ekyo nakyo ne kikukyankalanya. So byebimu ku ebyo ebitukyankalanya, atugambye n'okutulugunyizibwa naddala mu maka ne mu buto nga tukula waliwo ebintu bye tulaba bye tuyitamu nga tuli bato oba mu bufumbo munno gwe wafumbirwa oba gobeera naye n'abeerako ebintu byakola ebikukyankalanya omutwe ate ekirala ekisinga obukulu by'ebintu bye tukozesa ng'abantu abamu mukozesa ebiragalagala munywa omwenge n'obeera addicted ku bintu ebyo ne bitandika ate okufuuka ekirwadde mu ggwe n'ofuna endwadde y'omutwe tugenda mu kuwummulamu naye bwe tukomawo ate tugenda kulaba ebintu ebyo ngeri bitukosa bitya oba endwadde y'omutwe eyo ekosa etya obulamu bwo nga ggwe omulabi waffe. Bethany TV, be hopeful. Tukomawo.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV, for health. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV, for health.
The Heroes in Health Awards, HIHA, is back! Welcome to the 4th edition of the Heroes in Health Awards. The Heroes in Health Awards once again presents you an opportunity to celebrate your heroes in the health sector across Uganda under the theme Strategic Multi-Sectoral Partnerships to Transform the Health System and Workforce. Do you know an organization, innovation, or individual whom you admire for their professionalism, sacrifice, and impact in your community? Do they go above and beyond the ordinary call of their duty? Let us know about your hero. To nominate, visit www.hihawards.com. Nominations are now open until the 1st of October 2023. The Heroes in Health Awards 2023 is sponsored by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with Extraordinary Media with support from
Bethany TV, for health. Introducing Bethany TV, the pioneer health and wellness channel in Uganda and Africa, having a profound commitment to health and wellness. Our content takes various forms, from music and series to documentaries, talk shows, news, features, movies, cartoons, and reality shows. We are a hybrid station available on free-to-air and pay platforms, embracing the digital age as we maintain a strong online presence through our website, social media platforms, and mobile apps. Explore our rich and diverse content, engage with us on social media, and be a part of the positive change we aim to bring to the health and wellness landscape. Bethany TV, for health. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV, for health.
Health Minutes on Bethany TV. Food can impact your well-being and help your body be at its best. Let's look at the different foods that are known immune boosters. Fish that have high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, such as tilapia, are known to increase activity among white blood cells, which fight infection. Pumpkin seeds are good for our immune system due to the presence of vitamin E and zinc. Vitamin E enhances immune responses and protects against several infectious diseases. It is also a powerful antioxidant and prevents free radicals from damaging healthy cells in our body. Asian spices like garlic, ginger, and turmeric, in addition to giving your food some energy, specifically have anti-inflammatory properties and cardioprotective effects through their blood cholesterol-lowering abilities. Vitamin C-rich foods such as oranges, red pepper, tomatoes, broccoli contain high levels of vitamin C. Research shows vitamin C is essential for the growth and repair of tissue all over the body. Better healthcare for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute.
Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
Welcome back from that short break. We are here on Bethany TV Be Hopeful Show. My name is Winnie Mbabazi and I'm privileged to host Mr. Drileba Pratibi Daniel. We are discussing mental illness. Iranga tetunabagenda mukuumula mutwadde tulina byetwogera biki obubonero biki ebibireeta n'ebisingakaawo kati tugambe bwe tukomawo tugenda kwogera kwate ngeri ki obulwadde buno obw'omutwe gye butukosaamu ng'abantu bulamu bwaffe obwa bulijjo. Ekisinza okuneewuunyisa waliwo ka point kayogedde mu causes ate ng'ekintu kino abantu ffenna tubeera nakyo is what we call worry. Abantu tweraliikirira nnyo, neweeraliikirira omulimu gwo, neweeraliikirira business, neweeraliikirira omusajja, neweeraliikirira omwana, neweeraliikirira n'ebyomwaka ogujja n'obyeraliikirira. Before you know it, ng'obwongo bukyankalanye. Naye Daniel, before we go into the effects, I want us to discuss different types of mental illness. Like we said, that the symptoms are there and the causes. But again, we want to know different types of mental illness. Like I said, there's a particular condition you explained, and I told you, would that be depression? So people want to understand the different types of mental illness.
Now, there are so many categories of mental illness which you can actually group. Because there are so many types under each of these. So, but we look at it in terms of, maybe let me group some of them. Say the mood disorder. Mood disorder. With the mood disorder, you have depression, you have bipolar. This one affect the mood. Not like looking at my story here, this one is the one of the mood. This is depression. Where somebody is just sad. For them, they are extremely sad. They look sad. Everything about them is sadness. Sadness covers them everywhere. Even when they are walking, you can see that this person is really sad. You can even just see. And this sadness does not go away for weeks. And then this sadness begins to interfere with their daily activities, just like we are now looking at the different signs of mental illness. Now, with the bipolar, you have the two extremes, the sadness bit and the excitement bit. That's why, in simple terms, I'm sure if you've had people who say, you know what, I have mood swings. They are trying to, in layman's language, they're trying to say that actually they are struggling with bipolar. At one moment, they feel they are very happy. At another moment, they are sad. You leave them when they are very happy, you come back, they are sad. And then you begin to wonder, how does this happen? Because it is a mood disorder that affects them. So this is a condition which is under the mood disorders. Of course, you have the anxiety disorders also, where somebody is anxious. Anxiety, you see them when they are just sweating. Even if it is cold, for them they are sweating, their heart beat rate is very high, sometimes they are just shivering and they are shaking quick and all that. So all those are under that one, anxiety. Of course, you have other disorders like the post-traumatic stress disorder is also a mental health disorder, where somebody is struggling with their previous self, things that happened to their life long ago, but then they still struggle with it. And then they remember those painful moments and they just break it down. And then you have the autism spectrum disorders. This autism now affects mostly, it is seen in children, where somebody's developmental issues are affected. It affects their development. If a child is supposed to be speaking at 3 years, they are not speaking. They cannot relate with other children. They cannot connect. They cannot relate, and everything around them is delayed.
So basically, this happens during the early childhood
development times. Yes. And then of course you have the schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is where somebody is living in an unreal world. They are broke, but they are talking billions of stuff. This is also just like also with the psychosis, where somebody feels, even when you're broke. I was given an example to our audience in West Nile when I was on the radio purchase. There is a young man who had eaten his marungi and he had gone off, and then he had his 4,000 shillings. 4,000. He came to the stage and said he wanted to board. He wanted a bus to board to come to Kampala, where he wants to go and buy a fuso lorry.
With 4,000 shillings?
With the 4,000 shillings. Said he has his money, he wants to go to Kampala, he wants to board, and to convince the young man that, you man, even the 4,000 you have cannot take you to Arua town. Because this is somebody from Maracha. So coming from Maracha to Arua is 5,000. But to convince a young man that what you have is not even not enough to take you to Arua.
So for him, he came and he was very serious.
Very convinced and very serious that he has his 4,000. He wants to board the bus to go to Kampala. He wants to buy a fuso lorry.
Wow.
Psychosis at work.
So
you live in an unreal world.
So did he actually think he had like 4 billion shillings or something?
Of course, in his mind, that's what he had. In
so
his mind.
These people that we hear say, you see me, I have this, I have that, when it doesn't
They don't
exist.
have. That's actually psychosis. They are struggling with the psychosis. They need to be given antipsychotic drugs, and then they need to be given therapy for them to be able to get back on track. They're actually struggling with mental illness. You don't have anything, but you talk big. You say, me, I have this. You see me here, I have this, but in a real sense, it's not there.
And we are actually judging those people. We're like, why is he bragging over something that does not have? We are starting to have maybe they have a mental
Yeah, exactly. So you just have to understand. That's why we are talking this so that you're able to understand people and see how to help them. And then also you have the alcohol and drug and substance use disorder. Now somebody's mental illness can come as a result of the use of this. That's why you see some people, when they have taken either alcohol or they have taken any drugs, they are reserved. They don't want people. Then for others, they become very violent. They become very loud. They become something else. You beat them, they even say, even if you beat me, I'm here. Kill me. That's why it's interesting. I was explaining mental health for the religious leaders somewhere, and I was showing them a verse in the Bible, Proverbs 23:29, when the Bible was saying, who has war, who has sorrow, who has contentions, who has redness of eyes, who has bruises without cause. Those who ling along on wine, on alcohol, who mix here and there. Because at the end of the day, when you look at their life, it's misery.
Exactly.
Wounds, you have wounds, but nobody has beaten them, but whatever they've taken has caused them wounds, because they'll go falling anyhow and all of that, injuring themselves and all that. But the use of alcohol, drug and substance use has really affected so many, because it affects how you think, it affects how your mood is, also it affects your behavior. So those are some of the... and then also we have the eating disorders. Those who don't eat at all, those who overeat. That's also a mental condition. Of course, there is attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. Now we talked about the hyperactivity. You're talking about the hyperactivity here. So all those are some of the things. But then for you, your condition is different. Even if yours is depression, we need to understand at what level is this depression. Is it a major depression or is it a minor depression? Is it mild or is it severe?
What is the difference between severe and minor?
Of course, the severe one is when now you see somebody is maybe stripping off their clothes and all that, or they have become so violent and all that, that's now severe. Or they have locked themselves indoor. They don't want to see anybody. They lock themselves in and want to starve to death. That is severe. You need to engage them. There are those who now become suicidal and all that. So those are now the severe cases. But the mild cases is where they are still there, but you can still engage them, but they are there. Even right now, there are those who are even at work, but they are still struggling with sleep. Theirs is still maybe mild. You are struggling, but you know. Even waking up to go to work is work. Is a lot of work. You actually don't like, you hate yourself. You know, but it is still mild. You are still able to continue with your work, though sluggishly. You can't hit your targets. If, like now, there are places of work where there are targets to hit, but for you, you cannot hit there. You're really struggling and you know it, but then sometimes we fear to come out for help.
So can someone with a lot of work or responsibilities, could such people who have busy schedules, could they be at risk?
Yes, they are.
Because we see some people who work so much, they have a lot of things to do, they have so many responsibilities, they run up and down, they don't have enough time to rest. And you find that they're off.
You see, a lot happens. That's why even you see me, I move a lot. But there are days I purpose. For example, if I have done a lot of trainings over the weekend, Monday is my day off. I sleep the whole day. Even if there's no work to do, I just sleep. I just rest. Because there is burnout. You need to manage that burnout. In fact, right now, we have people who have actually died at work. They collapse at work and die. Because they will say, hey, so-and-so just collapsed. It has been too much workload. They cannot rest. And one thing here is, as long as you don't sleep, because sleep makes your mind to rest. But for you...
And have enough sleep.
And have enough...
It's not just sleep.
Yeah, have enough sleep. But I can assure you that those who will tell you, you know what, you just need to hustle. Please, there's nothing like hustling. You hustle and then we see the result. Because you may hustle, but then 80% work, but 20% result.
Someone will tell you, I have to work hard, I will rest at 50.
Let me tell you this. Don't work hard, you work smart.
Exactly.
This is where the difference is. You can work hard. Just take it here. Of course, most women will say, I want a hard-working man. Yeah? But how many of them will accept proposals from bricklayers? A bricklayer is a hard worker from morning up to evening. The man is laying bricks. He's ever busy. He's a hard-working young man. But how many ladies will really be happy to receive advances from a bricklayer? Few. Yet the guy is a very hard-working man. You can be a hard worker, yes, but if you look at the result, are you putting in 80% and then you get 20% result? Working smart means you put in 80%, you put in 20%, get 80% result. So I always advise work smart. Because if you're to go to work hard, you work hard up to 80 and then you rest. When will you rest? First of all, at 50.
Actually, that hard work thing is what causes most people to withdraw from other things.
Exactly. In fact, right now, because of the hard labor, actually, very good. We think that hard work is hard labor. It's not. That's why you see people who are on hard labor. That's why, after doing a lot of hard labor, all their bodies are aching, and then others are advised that actually, if you take alcohol or you take the opium, it will be okay. You will feel better. But I can assure you, with the time, it affects your mental health because those are psychoactive drugs. It affects your mind. So that's where, just like the Bible says it here, Hosea, my people perish for lack of knowledge. In Congo, we say, mon peuple périt par le mal de connaissance. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Because we don't have information, don't have knowledge, we are struggling. But that is why we have it. So all these are the different, some of the different, even like epilepsy is actually even a mental health problem. So many other examples that I can give. But for the purpose of our viewers who are watching, we want to understand, even if you have any of this, one thing I want to say is you're not alone.
You're not alone.
You will never be alone.
That is the most
Help
important
is
thing.
available.
Exactly. So now let us look at the effects.
Effects. So many effects. Number one, because people have failed to understand, there is one thing that is here. People have not understood the different dynamics when it comes to mental illness. Somebody is actually struggling with mental illness, and because the other person has not understood them.
Oh, yes.
there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of violence. This person maybe does not sleep, and then maybe or oversleeps, because there are two things. Somebody can actually oversleep or not sleep at all.
Oh yeah.
Now, if somebody is oversleeping, for instance, and is actually struggling with a mental health problem, the family members who may not understand him or her will say, "Wake up! What are you still doing here? Wake up, Kiboko!" Begin to care the person, but you are not understanding why this person is actually behaving the way he's behaving. Have you understood why he's behaving? That's why we have a lot of domestic violence. Go to many homes because people have not understood these issues. There's a lot of violence in many homes. Number two, there's a lot of increased cases of divorce and separation, even here in Uganda. A lot of cases of divorce and separation, even in a church, it's actually even high. Why? Because, when you don't understand your spouse as far as their mental health is concerned, you take matters in your own hands. And before you know it, I can't bear this anymore, and all that. Before you know it, there's the violence, this. And then people begin to say there is irreconcilable difference that we have, so we cannot reconcile again. Everybody goes on their own. And we are seeing this a lot in our days. And not only there, we are seeing a lot of other cases. Murder has become very high. Because somebody is behaving funny, and then you think you want to subdue them, you want to suppress in the process, you hit them in a wrong spot, and they die. That's why we have murder cases around. And then there is suicide, there is murder, and all that. And then also you have loss of self-esteem.
Yes.
Somebody who is struggling with mental illness will begin to see that actually others are better than them. They are not good enough. They are useless. They are not worth. So those are the thoughts that come in the mind. So it kills your self-esteem. So that when it kills your self-esteem, you begin to have intense fear of your life. You don't think that actually nothing, you think that nothing good can come from you. You even it becomes very hard for you to express your needs. You have a need, but you cannot express it because you feel that you're not good enough. Another thing is it kills your passion.
Yes.
I talked about where you lose interest in doing things. Even if you are very passionate about something, it kills your passion for that thing, and things that.
And you lose friends.
Exactly. You lose your vision for your life. You begin to live other people's dreams. You begin to live according to other people's opinion. You don't live your true life. Why? Because of the mental condition. People begin to say, what can be good for you? Because they will be thinking for you.
They think for you.
They will even begin. Not even, do you know that there are some people who people think who you should marry? That guy is good for you, by the way. That woman is good for you. No, it's not about what is good for me. Allow the person to make it, but they cannot make choices for themselves. Why? They cannot make decisions for themselves. They cannot think for themselves. And everything around them is done by people around them. So it kills your vision.
Okay.
Before you know it, the anger and the bitterness continues. That's why most mentally affected people, or many people who are struggling with the mental illness, they have a lot of anger. That's why others become very violent. Others pick stones, move with the stones, throw around, move with the sticks, carry people around out of anger and frustration that people don't even understand. Then, of course, there is jealousy. Even at workplace, because I talked about the issue of comparison, where you begin to compare yourself with others. Then when you see others are slightly doing better than you, you begin to become jealous about them. Jealousy is the last class you attend before you become a full-time witch. You can't be jealous of me and you wish me well.
Yes.
That's why even at workplaces, because I do a lot when it comes to like organizations where we talk about workplace mental health, I tell people that this is supposed not to be a place for competition, but this is supposed to be a place for collaboration. But then when you're going to begin to be jealous about other people's responsibilities, you begin to want to take over their roles and responsibilities. And before you know it, you go into unhealthy competition. Jealousy creeps in. You even begin to envy, because jealousy and envy are cousins.
I know.
You look at somebody with their nice spouse, then you begin to envy their spouse. Then you're like, that's why nowadays, do you know, I know that even nowadays, when somebody loses their dear one, some friends will show up at the bar and then they begin to console the one who has lost. That please don't worry, we are still around. We are going to see whatever we but they begin to give a blank check, you know, because it shows that actually they have been eyeing this person, you know. I've seen where even before the battle takes place, somebody begins to bring proposal. I'm like, okay, it's okay. I will see what to do. I will see how to support you. I will see how to do this. So and so has gone. And of course, we use the scripture a lot that you said maybe death, until death separates. Now that death has taken the other one. You know. So, but all these things are actually happening. Poor health. Because somebody who is mentally affected and or is struggling with mental illness, their eating is affected. Their appetite is affected. Definitely, health issues will creep in. That's why most people have ulcers.
Oh, yes.
Most people have different illnesses. And most of the sicknesses that we have today are sicknesses that we invite ourselves.
Actually, I feel like ulcers is the biggest effect.
Exactly.
Of
it is.
Depression and mental illness.
Because you are worrying about everything. You don't eat. You are eating. If you have to eat, you eat very late. And even if you have to eat, you don't eat good food. Some people end up with the junk food. And even before you know it, obesity comes in and all that. Before you know, nowadays, it is even very funny. The poor are struggling with only ulcers. The rich are struggling with the ulcers, obesity, weight loss. They are trying to kill their weight and all that. But because the whole thing is there. That's why when you see some people becoming very, eating too much meat, for example. And this, you know, there is this meat which goes with there is this particular animal. I want to mention it. But the meat is, everybody wants that meat. Now you find that one person can finish 3 kilos alone.
3 kilos?
Yes. That is because of the too much appetite. Now,
oh, yes.
That's why many people now, when they're having these mental breakdowns because of loss, there is a vacuum. They go into emotional eating. Food meant for 3 people, one person will eat. Food meant for 5 people, one person will eat. Others don't eat at all. So before you know it, health issues come in, poor health. Of course, I talked about the promotion of suicide, where many people have actually committed suicide and all that. So we have seen a lot. That's why even me, when I'm talking about these issues here, I've lost so many people and so many friends and family members to suicide. And sometimes in our place, it's even worse because when somebody commits suicide, we first cane the dead body before we bury them. But then I'm asking myself, for how long shall we control caning dead bodies? It doesn't help. But rather we should be able to speak. And one thing which is here is, it is always, most of these issues come from anxiety. That's why even in the Bible, Proverbs 13 verse 12. Proverbs 12:25. Yeah, the one of Proverbs 13:12 says, hope deferred makes the heart sick. Hope deferred. That means there is a hope, and then that hope is broken. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. And then when you go to Proverbs 12:25, New King James says that anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. Meaning that depression here, one of the things it is coming from, anxiety in the heart of man, where you are worried about everything around you. Worry is a vehicle that mental illnesses uses, because you are worried about how. The question you want to answer is how. Before you know it, it drives you crazy. You begin to lose it one at a time.
Wow.
That's how you end up with the various things. And then the worst bit of it is this. This one can be for some singles who might be watching. You're not alone. When I have this book here, this book is a testimony.
The Art of Dating and
The Art of
Courtship.
Dating and Courtship. After 8 heartbreaks, like I was telling you, after 8 heartbreaks, I'm here married.
Okay, let's go.
Relationship is one of the biggest issues. Even right now, that's why, as one of the effects, there are people who are not settled in a relationship.
They don't settle in any relationship. They're
and then for them, the song they
jumping up
sing,
and down.
then the song they sing is Gazie Salo Zange. Ayumukama.
Daniel, let me take you for another show.
No liwange.
And then you
They get confused. They don't know who to take, but
exactly. Allow me. Let's go for another show. And then when we come back, you'll tell me when you started singing. Be hopeful show. Oh, your mwami Daniel. Nga tubuulira ku bintu ebyenjawulo. Tubadde twogera ku ekisooka ku types ez'enjawulo oba obulwadde bw'omutwe obw'enjawulo era nga twogedde ku depression, twogedde atugambye n'abantu abagwa ensimbu nabo obulwadde bwa bwongo n'ebintu ebirala bingi. Obulwadde obulala buva kuba nti omuntu akozesa ebiragalalagala oba anywa omwenge n'ebintu ebiringa ebyo. Naye njagala nga tetunabagenda mu break tulabe ate twogeddeko ku effects oba engeri obulwadde buno obw'obwongo engeri gye butukosaamu. Ekisooka, abantu abamu baawukana, relationships nezigaana oba obufumbo nomaliza nga bufudde, abalala emirimu gikuggwako, abalala business neegwa kubanga otawanyizibwa obwongo, abalala ofuna ebirwadde nga ulcers. Abantu abasinga mukaba ulcers naye nga kiva ku ekyo ti omuntu olw'okuba weeralikirira nnyo n'ofuna obuzibu obwo n'otandika okuba nga n'emmere ogikyayi oba nga olya leeti obanga ne bwolya tebikuwoomera. Abalala ate n'omaliriza nga olw'okuba nga oyagala okwekubagiza olya nnyo n'omaliriza nga ate ofunye omugejjo kati ekyo nakyo nekikubeerera ekizibu. Abalala bafuna endwadde ezibakosa munda n'otandika okulwala ekibumba olw'okunywa omwenge kubanga onywa omwenge weekubagize olowooza nti ojja kuwulira bulungi naye ate ogenda kukira ku makya nga wakomye wootandikidde. Abalala obeera nga olina low self esteem oba nga tokyekkiririzaamu nga otandika n'okuba nga abantu kati be bakulowooleza gwe tokyerowooleza. Ate ekyembi osobola n'okuva mu bulamu bw'ensi eno. Katuwummulemu tukomewo.
And now, you're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break.
Bethany TV for health.
Are you a qualified and self-motivated salesperson? Are you a recent graduate with a passion for sales and strong teamwork skills? Bethany TV is offering you the opportunity to kickstart your career. Contact our sales team for more information on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health. Next on The Chord.
The challenges of childless marriages are huge, and they are a very, very big strain on marriages. Break just because of that. It's not even infidelity, not even trust issues.
Childless couples sometimes face unexpected pressures, and the pressures to conform to societal norms can be overwhelming.
When it gets to the relatives, there is a level at which you're not a relative simply because you don't have a child.
That's very, very
You're
true.
less of a relative, yes? I mean, someone can't even associate with you as a relative. Yes.
Misunderstandings can surface when family and friends don't comprehend the choice.
So the outsiders are a positive. And I think what we should pick from them should be a positive in terms of aligning our marriages.
So look at it as if like some kind of support structure.
A support structure.
Like well-wishers.
Exactly, because you can't have a marriage in isolation.
Join us this Monday, 8 p.m. live on Bethany TV with Keith, Chula, and Livingstone. It's The Chord.
The Heroes in Health Awards here is back. Welcome to the 4th edition of the Heroes in Health Awards. The Heroes in Health Awards once again presents you an opportunity to celebrate your heroes in the health sector across Uganda under the theme Strategic Multi-Sectoral Partnerships to Transform the Health System and Workforce. Do you know an organization, innovation, or individual whom you admire for their professionalism, sacrifice, and impact in your community? Do they go above and beyond the ordinary call of their their duty. Let us know about your hero. To nominate, visit www.hihawards.com. Nominations are now open until the 1st of October 2023. The Heroes in Health Awards 2023 is sponsored by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with Extraordinary Media with support from
Bethany TV for Health. Are you ready for this good news? You can now watch Bethany TV on Yo TV, AfroMobile, and Airtel TV apps. Yes! Catch the finest programming prescription for everybody, wherever you are, whenever you are. Bethany TV for Health. Bethany TV for Health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
webale nnyo okuba ng'okyatambula naffe oli ku Bethany TV Be Hopeful Show. Nze Winnie, tulina Daniel twogera ku ndwadde ey'omutwe. Daniel.
Yes, please.
We left when you were singing.
I was singing for your song. I was singing a song, Gazien Salos.
You know, we have a problem. This particular topic, it's a wide one that we need to discuss for an entire day.
Yeah, true.
Relationships are failing. And a lot of people, both men and women, are jumping from one relationship to the other. They are breaking many girls' and women's hearts. But we keep asking ourselves, what is wrong with these people? Why can't they settle down? Because you find a gentleman or a lady, they will be in a relationship here. They will jump and go into another one. But they don't even have a good reason why they are leaving that relationship to another one. They're actually, we call them heartbreakers. They keep hurting, especially men. I will speak for the women.
I also talk for the men.
I'll speak for the women. Men are breaking. We have a problem, and it's a big challenge.
It is.
Many young men, I don't even want to use the young men. Men are breaking many women's hearts. They don't settle. And you might think, okay, Sarah didn't have the qualities that he was looking for. How about Jen? How about Diana? How about Sarah? You know, you find someone is having a circle of, I don't know which number of girls. But now, like you are singing, they keep saying, you know, so the song is going to continue forever. What could be the problem?
The problem is here. People are wounded. So you mean if someone... people will hurt others.
So these people are actually hurt, were once hurt.
They are once hurt, and it is easy. When I got this book, it is until I looked at why 8 heartbreaks. Why am I the way I am? Then that's when I discovered that, wait, because...
You were once hurt.
I was once hurt, and hurt people will continue to hurt others. And then sometimes you think actually you have healed, but you have not healed. You jump from one relationship to another.
So are you looking for healing?
In the name of, for instance, let me use this book, Overcome Rejection, here. You look at somebody who is... who has been in a relationship, and then things didn't work out.
And they were
before you know it, they jump. Let me just give you an example here. This is now still mental health issues. Imagine a young man in a relationship with a lady ready to marry, being rejected by the fiancé, and she goes for another man. It is common for such a young man to react by, number one, committing suicide. That is mental health, as a result of mental health problem. Number two, murdering the lady or the new man.
Do what?
Murder. We talked about now the effects here. Number three, hating the lady. Insults and blackmailing the lady.
The lady that has disappointed him?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting into another relationship just to prove that he is still very hot and has not lost anything.
Okay.
This is actually now the biggest. Somebody leaves this and then wants to prove that I'm still hot, and then looks for another babe. And the problem right now we have is most men are not looking for real things. Most men are looking for nyash. Now, when it comes to nyash, that's why everything around nowadays, it is a wrong perspective. Even I was talking to a church setting where people are like, nowadays, even without a nyash, with or without a nyash, you are beautiful. But what is focusing on these issues now? Because of the mental health state of the men. What they're looking for is not actually what is not there. They're looking for beauty. They're looking for nyash. And actually, I talked about, let me bring something here. I think this might now help you to understand something.
So someone goes into another relationship just to prove
they are still hot.
To their ex that actually, I got someone better than
you. But actually, they are still hurting. That relationship will not even last. It won't.
So do they also get hurt? Like if they jump from this relationship and they are hurting this girl and goes to the other, do they also hurt? Or they are very okay?
You jump from the frying pan to the fire. In simple terms.
It also burns you.
It burns. Now, you see here, when you are personal, this is now in church now. When it comes to mental illness, there are those who become hypersexual. Hyper.
Oh.
So, all they're trying to look for is a sexual pleasure.
Is a satisfaction.
Sexual pleasure. So they're not looking for a woman to marry.
Exactly.
That's why, don't be surprised you have a serious person who will, very responsible person, who will end up looking for a prostitute in the streets.
I hear you.
I think now we are talking.
Loud and clear.
That is why, still before even you judge them, it is because of their mental health problem.
They're dealing with something.
They are dealing with something. That's why for us men, because we are told, you be a man, don't talk like women, don't you be a man. You all know that a man has a problem when he has become a serial womanizer, a serial sex addict. When the man has become a deadly drinking officer, abusing all kinds of alcohol. Or when the man has become a deadly drug abuser, abusing all kinds of drugs.
Now, I think the biggest
this is
challenge...
where we say that, I think this man has a problem. He needs help. But this man's problem has been building gradually.
Exactly. When you're talking about help, the biggest challenge we have is these people can barely accept that they need help. They don't even know that they actually have a problem. They will show you, they will speak, they will behave as if they are very okay. So when does someone now accept that, you know what, I think I need help?
When they are ready to accept. The problem here is stigma. Even when they know that they have a problem, they don't come out. Even women themselves, even when they know that they have a problem. That's why even some women, I was shocked because we were doing our training for some group of people. That's when I got to know some stories. But you cannot judge one side. But still, you cannot even judge both sides, but rather you need to see how to support them and help them get out. The issue of stigma is huge. That's why I talked about the impact of stigma in accessing mental health services. Even when they want to get for help, they cannot. Why? Because of stigma. What are these 5 facets of the stigma? Number 1, social stigma. Okay. The society.
What will they think?
Society has a negative mind when to see some of these issues. That's why when they see a young man, for example, in the church setting, when a young man is behaving funny, instead of helping, they put him on church discipline. And sometimes they say, from today, you are under church discipline. But still, because they don't understand what they can do to help this person, there's nothing they do, but they just say, from today, you sit down for ministry.
Actually, some churches, if you went one girl to the other and they're finding out all that you're doing, they will tell you, you have to stand in front of the congregation, confess your sins.
Now, but even at the end of before even confessing and even after confessing, the point is, how are you helping this person?
Exactly.
Number 2 is a structural stigma. This is to do with the organizations, this is to do with the governments, it is to do with the policies. Right now, I'm sure you're on health insurance. Yes? They can insure your teeth, they can insure your nose, your ears, your eyes, but they will never insure your mental health.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. Because it's a policy. Number 2, if you are in an organization and you have a history of mental health problem, they don't employ you. Or they will see how to take you off. So people fear being laid off. They don't come out for help because of the structural stigma. Number 3, self-perceived stigma. If I go for help, what will people think about me? You know, the beliefs about yourself, the negative thoughts that you have about yourself. And then you have the associative stigma. Associative stigma is a family member is maybe having a mental problem. And then when visitors come around, you don't want people to know that actually we have this condition. You try to hide this person away from the rest of the people because you have, as a friend or as a family member, you feel ashamed for people to know that this is a problem here. So there's that stigma also as well. And then the last stigma is the health practitioner stigma. I'm sure you've seen how the mental health practitioners, they also, there is where they impact the person negatively because of the impact of the stereotypes, the thoughts associated with them. There are people who have lost their dear ones to health practitioners. That's why in Butabika here, we've seen parents who have lost their children there, relatives who have lost their people there. Why? The health practitioner who is supposed to be helping this person in the process of trying to subdue this person in one way or the other, they are malhandled and they die. So even right now, when you just say, why can you refer this person to Butabika? Butabika? No. Why? There is already a negative connotation which is coming from the perspective of the health practitioner. So because of all these 5, people are busy remaining. That's why, let me read for you something here. It is really sad that you cannot even open up about your HIV status to your church member, workmate, family member, for fear of victimization. Maybe you read this one for me, because if I read it, maybe somebody might say this.
My eyes.
You can pick from here.
Here?
Yes.
It says many relationships and marriages are in the intensive care unit because some people choose to suffer in silence as they have been conditioned
by the norms.
By the norms in society.
Exactly. So right now, many marriages are in intensive care unit. Many relationships are in intensive care unit.
Many.
You're not sure whether it is dead or it is still alive, but it's there anyway. People are fearing to come out for help, even when help is available because of stigma.
Even businesses.
Things are falling apart, but people are dying in silence. The other day when I was talking about my book, Broke by Choice, and explaining how I lived in a financial crisis for 3.5 years, where 100% of my salary was taken by this financial institution because of loan. 3.5 years, 100%. The month ends and you have nothing.
And you go back home empty-handed.
Exactly, 3.5 years.
Because you took a loan.
The story is here. Because of loans. The bank statement is here.
Yes.
3.5 years. I did farming on the phone. And when I went to the farm, there was no crop grown apart from the bush. I learned my lesson. I invested some money in a cage fish farming. I didn't even know about how much feeds fish needs. But I went there because a friend just told me, man, just put...
Chicola.
It works. You get double up to tomorrow. There is no... no. How many men are going through financial crisis and they cannot even come out to seek for help?
To share.
Loans have become loans. Debts have become debts. But this alone is why most men, not even men alone, even women, are battling mental
I'm telling you, a lot of people are battling mental illness because
they can't sleep because of the loans. One time when I was selling this, one guy asked me, do you sleep? I said, I do. In fact, I sleep very well. At first, of course, it was affecting me, but when I learned how to cope with this, that's why I want, at the end of the show here, I will be able to see how I can come through and share some of the things that people can do to be able to manage and contain this. You know, so a lot is happening because of stigma. People don't come out for help. So back to this relationship. So many people have been hurt, and because they have not healed, there's no way they can thrive. That's why we're talking about thriving amidst mental health problems. You cannot thrive in a relationship until you have healed. And many times we don't heal, we just cover the wound.
And we want other people to help us heal.
And then it becomes very hard. It is until you open up that wound that you cannot heal. You know, and that's why even some people will say, I don't want to talk about it because it reminds me. I become emotional when it's okay, don't let it not remind you. You see, I have a scar here. This scar is a reminder that when I was 3 years old, I was burnt. The whole palm was off. I got burnt at the age of 3.
So every time you look at that scar,
I look at this is a reminder, but it doesn't pain me anymore.
Yes.
The scar can be there, yes. You know, that's why I'm here saying, hey, why do you want to take away your life just because of one heartbreak? Yet I am here, 8 heart. By the way, the 8 are without those who fired me before I proposed, and those who told me they will give me answer, and there's no answer. These are real stuff. Where even some of them you visit and all of that. It's real stuff. 8.
Wow. So now, how does one thrive amidst all these fears and challenges and what?
Number one, when you have realized that actually you need help, get out and get for that help. When you're looking for help, don't look for sympathy.
Oh, yes.
Seek for solution. Me, that is what helped me.
Don't seek for sympathy.
Because at first I used to seek for sympathy. So that people can say, oh, sorry, oh, Bambi, oh, dear, oh, sorry about that, oh, dear, that is so bad and all. So it makes you just feel good.
For that moment.
For that moment, but it does not help you. You need people to ask you hard questions. You need to seek for help. You need to seek for solution. How do I come out of this? I'm having this financial crisis, which is triggering my mental health. How do I come out of the financial crisis? Maybe it is a relationship. How do I come out? Maybe it is the rejection that I had. How do I come out? It is until you understand why are you behaving the way you are behaving, you cannot get help. You only do what you know. So you need to first of all get to that place. Understand why did things happen that way? What is the cause? What was the trigger? And then from there you can be able to seek for solution, not for help, just for the sake of seeking for sympathy. That's number one. Number two, once you have understood your issue, go for medical treatment. Get medical treatment from a recognized medical facility.
Yes.
I know in many settings, even here, there are people who are watching me, but many times when people come to me, for example, and then they are seeking for mental health services and all of that, when I refer them, some of them I make referrals also as well, and all of that. But then you see that somebody will tell you, you know, we first went to the shrine, things didn't work out. And then from there, I was taken to be prayed for, things didn't work out. And then here I am, I need help. How do I bounce back? How do I get my life back? You can only do that when you get, that's why when you get to the treatment center, if yours is depression and it is severe, you must be given, first of all, antidepressants. Many people, I want to say this. Many people, because we are in an era of information, somebody looks at what we have shared, there are symptoms of what we've talked about, and then they look here, what could be the cause? It is depression. Okay, treatment. Medication for this, they see a medication, then no, don't self-medicate. Don't. First of all, go for examination. Let there be diagnosis. Let there be assessment. Let there be screening to understand what exactly is it. Then what medication that can best be given to you, because different medications also have different side effects.
Oh yes.
Number 3, you need what we call psychotherapy. Psychotherapy, even by the way, if you identify your issues fast enough before they become severe, and you go for psychotherapy, you can actually do without medication. You can do without medication. As long as you have psychological first aid that has been offered, You have psychosocial support that has been offered. You have people around you who are giving you support. You won't need to see a psychiatrist.
I understand you.
For instance, Job had his 3 friends. The 3 friends visited him and spent a full week without saying a word. That was psychological first aid, presence of somebody. Because when you are alone, an idle mind becomes devil's workshop. When you are alone and you are thinking alone, your thoughts are negative and they are rotten. So you need psychoeducation and you need psychotherapy. You need narrative therapy to help you. You need to talk about this pain. You need to talk about it.
Oh, yes.
That becomes therapy. Talk about this thing of saying, if I talk about it, it makes me cry. You cry because crying is part of the therapy. Until you open up that wound, nothing will come out. And then also, don't be alone. Be in the fellowships. Be with the people. Don't be alone. Be with the people. Do exercises. Exercise. I know it is very hard, but you can do it. Check your eating. Check your eating.
All right.
If you're on medication, take your medication religiously. Don't miss it.
Interesting. Allow me to take you for another short break.
Yes, please.
We are coming back with how the society, the family, the husband, fiance, anybody close to this person that could be affected. How can we support these people without judging them?
Exactly.
Because
I like that word, without judging.
Without judging them. Yes. Bethany TV. Bannaffe abali ku side eyo mbeera mbaddiramu katono tubadde tuli n'omukulu ng'atubuulira ebintu ebimu bye twogeddeko nga tukomyewo twogedde ku ngeri batubuulidde ebintu ebimu ebireetera abamu mubeera mu relationship ne zifa abamu ne mutandika okuba nga odduka ogendamu eno relationship n'eno oyagala okwegatta n'ono n'oli naye nga ekisinga okutawaanya ndwadde ya mutwe nga ggwe tomanyi ng'ebintu ebyo eby'omu kisenge obyagala nnyo naye ng'ekikuleetera appetite eyo olina obuzibu ku bwongo. Kakati ate ne tuwogera ku ngeri gy'oyinza okuba nti owangula oba engeri gy'oyinza okweyambamu okuba ng'ovuunika ekizibu kino. Mpozi n'ekirala kye batugambye loans zino. Abantu abasinga mu buli sector yonna, mu buli level yonna, abantu mu katale, abali eyo, abali mu maduuka, abali mu zaakeede eyo, nkimanyi mubeerawo lwa loans, musaba loan after this oba waakamala eno ate oyina eno ate you have another supplementary loan. So obeera ne loan ku loan buli kaseera nekikuletera okuba nga obwongo bwo tebuwummula weeraliikira buli kaseera lw'omanya nti nno bannange bagenda loans office ajja n'oluusi n'otya n'okujja ku dduuka ne mulwala ne mweraliikirira. Kati ebintu bino byonna abadde atubuulira engeri gye tusobola okubivuunukamu kuba tukitegedde nti ebintu ebimu obubonero buli bwe twalabye tetulinda nnyo ate bukule naye oyinza otya okwewala ebintu bino. Atugambye ekisooka noonya omuntu asobola okukuyamba. Kkiriza nti nina ekizibu kino kubanga kitandika nakukkiriza nti weetaaga okuyambibwa. Noonya obuyambi, tonoonya kusaasirwa. Omuntu anaakusaasira munange ng'olabye nedda. Noonya omuntu agenda okuwa kye tuyita solution ng'ogenda kufuna engeri y'okuvuunukamu ekintu kino. Ekyokubiri, funa eddagala bwe kiba kyetaagisa. Eddagala lya njawulo. Oyinza okubanga eddagala lye weetaaga kubeera n'abantu abakubulira ebigambo ebirungi oba bali positive. Weewale nnyo okubeera mu bantu abagamba kino tekisoboka, owedde, nedda. Funa abantu abakuzaamu amaanyi oba bakugamba ebigambo ebituufu. Naye bwe kiba kigenze wala, genda ofuna obujjanjabi mu basawo. Ate akkaatiriza nti togenda kukwata simu y'okunoonyereza n'ofuna eddagala n'ogenda ne weegulira eddagala. There is no self-medication in this. And then kola dduyiro. Fena tukimanyi nti omuntu bw'okola dduyiro kikuyamba omubiri okukkakkana wamu n'obwongo. So it makes you feel better. Tugenda mu kuwummulamu naye bwe tukomawo tugenda kutegeera gwe bw'oba ng'oliraanye omuntu oba obeera n'omuntu ayinza okuba nga alina ebintu ebyo, alina stress, alina depression, alina ekirwadde ky'obwongo kubanga ekirwadde ky'obwongo si kugwa ddalu. Naye ng'olaba omuntu yeetaaga obuyambi, ngeri ki gwe ng'omuntu amuliraanye gy'osobola okumuyambamu nga tomusalidde musango. Be Hopeful Show, katuwummulemu.
You're watching Be Hopeful. We'll be right back after the break. Bethany TV for health. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health.
Health Minutes on Bethany TV. Food can impact your well-being and help your body be at its best. Let's look at the different foods that are known immune boosters. Fish that have high levels of omega-3 fatty acids, such as tilapia, are known to increase activity among white blood cells, which fight infection. Pumpkin seeds are good for our immune system due to the presence of vitamin E and zinc. Vitamin E enhances immune responses and protects against several infectious diseases. It is also a powerful antioxidant and prevents free radicals from damaging healthy cells in our body. Asian spices like garlic, ginger, and turmeric, in addition to giving your food some energy, specifically have anti-inflammatory properties and cardioprotective effects through their blood cholesterol-lowering abilities. Vitamin C-rich foods such as oranges, red pepper, tomatoes, broccoli contain high levels of vitamin C. Research shows vitamin C is essential for the growth and repair of tissue all over the body. Better healthcare for a better tomorrow. That was the Health Minute.
Bethany TV for health. And now, more with Be Hopeful.
webale kuba ng'okyatambula naffe tuli ku Be Hopeful Show. Nze Winnie ndi n'omwami Daniel, we want to, there's some points I don't want us to miss. But before we move ahead, I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions, but I'll share a number that people can call and ask their questions or send a message and ask questions. Bobanga oli eyo ng'olina ekibuuzo kyo kyonna oba ekintu kyewali agadde okumanya ku kirwadde ky'omutwe kye tubadde tuli mu kwogerako, ng'olina ekibuuzo olina kyoyagala okumanya kyatakoonyeeko oba kyakoonyeeko nga tokitegedde bulungi, osobola okukuba ennamba eno oba n'oweereza message ku WhatsApp 0759 26 76 45. Kanjiddemu 0759 26 76 45 0759 26 76 45. Osobola okuba essimu wano mu studio tukuddemu ekibuuzo kyo oba weereza message ng'olina ekibuuzo kyonna. So we want to understand, sometimes we have these people around us but we judge them. We call them mad, we call them womanizer, we call them names. So now, how can I help this person that has this challenge without judging them? Okay, maybe they have accepted that they have a challenge, but also sometimes they fail to get better because of us, the people that are surrounding them. How do we help them? And also, let's look at the treatment after. Yes. So it starts with now us, the people that are around them, the environment.
Actually,
the society.
The society plays a very big role. The family plays a very big role. The workplace plays a very big role. And the environment. That's why my focus has been more on community-based mental health services. Community-based because everybody in the community has a part to play to see that people have good mental health. Also to see how to support those with mental illness in one way or the other. One thing that I want to say is, in a family, if there is anybody who has a mental health problem, before even helping this person, take care of yourself. This may sound funny, but you need to take care of yourself. In as much as we don't contract mental illness like the way we contract flu or cold because of...
Yes.
But over time, when you see this person of yours in this condition, over time, it also begins to affect you. Maybe you are a mother or you are a parent to this child, and when you see this child in this condition, yet you expect them to be better somewhere else, it affects you even more. So you need to take care of yourself before even you take care of this person. Number 2, once you have taken this person for medical checkup and there is a diagnosis that has been done, and then get the facts about this condition, understand this condition. If it is depression, understand what is depression. If it is bipolar, understand what is around bipolar. If it is about psychosis, understand this medical condition. Because it is until you only do what you know. If you don't know anything to do with this person, then you will do the opposite. That's why there are many people who are trying to help their dear ones, but instead they are fighting. They're always quarreling, they are fighting. This person is not taking medications, is avoiding medications. So there is always that pulling of ropes. Why? You have failed to understand their condition. And then support the person. Support doesn't mean that, there are those who say, no, for any support, just call me. You're not there. Support means be there. Your presence matters most. Because even when it comes to accepting the reality that I need to take medication and all that, somebody needs to be there to offer that. So, and then you need to be there. And then don't take anything personal. Because anybody who is sick, whether being any sickness, not just mental illness, anybody who is sick, out of the pain they are feeling, they can speak hurtful things. Sometimes you can take offense. Please don't take offense. Don't take anything personal. It's not actually you that they're actually complaining about. Just that you are at the wrong time, you are at the wrong place at the wrong time. So you became the victim of the circumstance.
Daniel, because of time, allow me to drive you into the medication part of it, the treatment. What kind of treatment should this kind of person receive?
Like I talked about here, when it comes to the treatment, let me talk about 2 main treatment plans. Number 1 is psychotherapy.
Okay.
Psychotherapy is where this person is helped to deal with the mind, issues around them. When it comes to psychotherapy, also it is broken down into various therapies. You have the cognitive therapy, which deals with the thinking, the thoughts. You have the behavior therapy, which focuses on the behavior. You have the psychodynamic. This one deals with the unresolved issues. Like I was telling you, until somebody goes to understand what has caused this problem, they cannot do anything. Now, what people do, one thing I want to say is what will manage the moods is the medication.
Yes.
If somebody is depressed, they are very sad, they will be given antidepressant so that they don't feel very sad, so that it can boost their mood. But then after boosting this mood, what will actually take real issues is the psychotherapy. Because it is in the psychotherapy that somebody is helped. And now psychotherapy happens together with the family members to also have psychoeducation. For example, if the problem is depression, how do you manage depression? How do you manage this person? And then also for this person who is depressed, how do you cope with your situation? What are your triggers? Okay. What triggers this emotion? What triggers this mood? How can you cope with this? So that is something for the victim, for the person who is actually in that mental condition. They need that session of psychotherapy, which psychotherapy is done by psychologists and counselors.
So now, after having all this treatment, because most of them go through that kind of treatment, then why the lapsing?
Relapse is something which is very interesting in that when you see high cases of relapse, it is because, number one, there is inadequate medication. There are those who will refuse to take medication. They begin the medication very well, and then over time, they stop. I say, me, now I don't want. So they don't want to take the medication. And then expected relapse.
Cause relapse.
Number two, the environment. If there is no supporting system around this person, expected relapse. If there is inadequate psychotherapy, expect a relapse.
Okay.
Now, with psychotherapy, it is actually the best mode in that it deals with the different aspects here. You look at the thought, because mental illness affects three things. Number one, the thoughts, the mood, and the behavior. So all these therapies are there to help this person manage these issues. The thought, how they are thinking. Number two, their mood, and then their behavior. You know, somebody who is having a mental illness, their interpersonal relationship is not there. Their communication skill, not there. So you need, now you as a caregiver, you need to understand how best can I speak to this person. What are the do's and the don'ts in terms of the grammar to use when I'm engaging this person? Because there are times when they say, but you look good, what could make you depressed? Don't judge them. Speak to them non-judgmentally. Don't judge them. Because when you begin to judge them, and then definitely, that's why you see people, even in the church, who will say, maybe you're not praying enough. That's why you're having this problem. Maybe God is punishing you for this sin
You're
that you
not
committed.
seeking God.
Maybe you're not seeking God enough.
But we have seen the men of God in the Bible.
7 men in the Bible who are here, including Jesus.
Who are depressed.
Men of God, Elijah calls the fire. The following day, he wants to commit suicide. Moses, who wanted to deliver the people of Israel, and he was excited about their assignment after some time. What happened? He said, God, kill me, let me die. Am I better than these other people? What about Jeremiah, a man of God, who was preaching with the fire, who was like, God, why did you cause me to die as... why didn't me be like miscarried in my mother's womb? Why did you allow me to see all this kind of stuff? This is a man of God. You know? How about Hannah, who the priest said, you are drunk? Said, I'm not drunk. It's just the heaviness of my heart. You know, anybody can go through mental problem. Even King David, a king. So nobody is an island that I cannot. Nobody is too big for that. All of us go through this. So accept, don't judge, but rather support. And what are some of the do's and the don'ts? When you are to love them unconditionally. The people who say, now before even they give the medication, you are the one who looked for this problem. But even we told you, that's not the time for that. For now, love them unconditionally.
Yes.
Offer hope. Understand the medication. Know what is the side effect. In fact, why many people don't want to take medication, for example, is because of the side effects. They take the medication, then it knocks them off. And then they don't want that. Then again, when they're like that, they say, but for you're sleeping too much. It is a side effect of the medication, to sleep. But for you also, when you are sleeping too much, even you overeat, it is a side effect of the medication. Understand it.
Daniel,
you know?
allow me to discuss more next time when we come for another episode.
But the point is, we just need help. Help is available.
Yes.
Help is available. I have seen people in this country. I am among them. We've so many who have recovered and who are doing great work and great exploits. You're not alone. You could be here. I know treatment for mental illness is very expensive. I know. It can be draining financially, mentally, socially, even spiritually. I know, but still, let's heal. Let's allow people to heal. Recovery is possible. treatment is possible. That's one thing I want to always emphasize. If I am here today as a living testimony, bringing out all the stories which triggered everything and trying to help others, please, help is available. Don't commit suicide. Don't kill yourself. Don't give up on life just because an event has happened to you. No, it was just an event, but learn to respond.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Give us a scripture.
Wow, this is an interesting one. 1 Peter 5:10. It says, let me read the one which is in my mind. I think this is New King James, which says, the God of all grace who has called us to his eternal glory through Christ Jesus. After you have suffered a little while, in this case, the suffering has been the one of mental illness. After you have suffered a little while, maybe he can give us NIV. Will himself restore, strengthen, make you strong, strengthen, and settle you.
Interesting.
After you've suffered for a while. So it is you who understands how that while has been for you. Maybe.
Before we go, any choice, any song of your choice?
A song of my choice? Yes. The song that I want to give is Let the Living Waters Flow Over My Soul.
Hallelujah. Thank you so much for being with us. It was a very interesting topic. I can't wait to have you again. I'm sure people will send in the questions and concerns. Of course, we shall share them and we shall have you next time on the same topic, because I know you're well equipped with this all information. But thank you so much. Mwebale kubanga mutambudde naffe Be Hopeful Show. Olwaleero olwokutaano bwetwe bwetutambudde tubadde twogera ku ndwadde etawanya abantu obwongo. Endwadde y'obwongo si ddalu bannange. Mwebale nnyo bw'obanga osubiddwa programu eno ku ssaawa 5 ez'ekiro tugenda kuba tugiddamu. Nyumirwa programu zaffe endala Chicago Med yeddako n'endala zonna zigoberere. Nze Winnie Mbabazi baagaliza wiikendi ennungi. Baagala nnyo.